So the burning question, how do you explain a quarterback going from the second QB on the draft board, likely high first round pick, to pick 144? How is that possible? Did the NFL not like him? Do they not like what he represents? Or is this about his shortcomings as a player or maybe even as a person? It is amazing because his stories were stacking in the weeks leading into the draft about the negatives about Shedeur Sanders. And part of it was football related, and I think very realistic. Part of it had to do a lot with his interaction with people at the NFL, at the combine, at workouts, at private meetings, etc. So I network with a lot of people, and a couple of them are scouts, a couple of them are player personnel guy, a couple of them are former NFL executives and general managers. I asked them anonymously just to give me some thoughts as to why this happened to Shedeur Sanders. This is after he sat on the board until the 5th round, where the quarterback poor Cleveland Browns took him after they had already taken Oregon quarterback Dylan Gabriel. John, put up the quotes here because I'm going to read just specifically what these NFL scouts tell me. They ran a junk offense at Colorado and at Jackson State. The star wide receivers at those schools were like an Olympic track team. They gained all the yards. They made all the plays. It was a lot of freelance football. He threw the ball. Those guys caught it and made the plays down the field. If you subtract the bubble screens, the flare passes, and all that, and just did a metric breakdown of the important passes an NFL quarterback has to make, the completion rate on his deep slants, his deep crosses, his deep sidelines, and his deep outs was 39% on the deep stuff down the field. Now, this is from NFL scouts. You remember the run and shoot, Lee? That was supposed to be the next great thing. Do you know how long that lasted? It was a gimmick package. Defenses caught up to it. Quarterbacks got killed, and it was gone quickly. What Colorado and Jackson State ran was great for college football if you had speed, but you cannot do that in the NFL. Flaws. He took 96 sacks in 2 years because he doesn't move the pocket well. He was only 13-12 in 2 years at CU. He was 1-7 versus the best teams on the schedule. The video does not lie. He does not have a rocket arm. He can't put the ball into tight spots. He's late on throws. He holds it too long. He has a propensity only to scramble to the left when he's in trouble. Every scout who looks at video will put that into a game plan if they have to play him in the NFL. And this one had been monitored before. He doesn't check off many of the boxes, the elite boxes, talent-wise, you need to have if you want an NFL quarterback. So we can sit here and we can talk about the fact he threw for 4,700 yards and whatever it was touchdown-wise, and over 14,000 yards between Colorado and Jackson State. I thought it was a gimmick and gadget offense that worked in college football because Deion recruited an Olympic track team of wide receivers. His receiving core was phenomenal. That's why a bunch of those guys got drafted. Now, this doesn't say this kid can't play, but this says, as the one lead scout told me, it's a junk offense. Can't run this stuff in the National Football League. So, what do you think about what they had to say with those headlines?
Junk offense, run and shoot, and flaws. So there's mixed messages on the football side of this argument. You know, we'll set the personality stuff for later.
Still to come.
But we were talking about Shedeur Sanders as a great athlete. This should have been like a top 10 quarterback, certainly a first rounder, even in the first year when he came over from Jackson State. And the message was, boy, he's got a great arm. He can put the passes on target, but he had no offensive line help. So that's why he was scrambling, and that's why he was erratic. Now it seems like they're using the bad offensive line sort of against him because he was in duress. He was scrambling. He wasn't the pocket passer that he's supposed to be.
Yeah. But the second year at Colorado, they recruited more offensive linemen. They got better, and he still was running for his life. He still took a ton of sacks.
Did you see there was like a video clip of Cam Ward and Shedeur working out together and smack talking the whole time? And Cam Ward was saying, yeah, you just throw those bubble screens, these easy passes. The wide receivers do all the work for you.
That's what the scouts said.
Mm-hmm.
So that's where we are there. Now, let me give you some other inside information here about this. This is the national media has done a lot of digging here. During the course of his meetings with NFL teams, he was on a Zoom with a head coach. In the middle of Zoom, he paused it because he wanted to take a call from one of his posse while he's on a Zoom with an NFL head coach.
Yep.
He gave one-word answers in some of the questions from different coaches that he met with or was on Zoom. He seemed disinterested in person when he was meeting with some of the teams, either at the combine where he did have meetings or in follow-up meetings with some of the clubs. He made people wait. He was late for meetings with coaches and general managers. You're kidding me? He refused requests to workouts. More than once he said, you got 4 years of video from Jackson State, Colorado. Just go watch the video. He acted like it should be an honor that I'm sitting here in the room talking to you. This is how he came off to some NFL people. One of the coaches pulled up a montage of videos of turnovers at Colorado and asked Shedeur to comment what he saw or why he made the decision. Shedeur never took the blame for any of the turnovers. It was always the wide receiver or it was always the offensive lineman. And the general consensus is he just disrespected the entire process of how the NFL evaluates all that. So your reaction from all this, quote, inside information from people who actually interacted him and just kind of fed up with the process and told the media this is what happened.
It's a maturity factor here. I mean, he's not getting the right kind of guidance, not just from, his father, Coach Prime, but really from his whole entourage. I mean, you've got to be in there. You have to be a good student. You've got to show a willingness and a humbleness in front of these scouts. I mean, not showing up for interviews or taking phone calls in the middle of an interview. That's dumb. One-word answers. That's dumb. I mean, he's just killing himself. And I don't understand. Like, people were obviously commenting about this leading into the draft. Why did he continue this behavior? Was it just an ego thing? I mean, it doesn't make any sense.
That's who he is. Is he a student of the game? I think he's addicted to be a student of the game. Is he an athlete? Yeah, some, but he doesn't check off all the boxes of all the things you need. Pocket presence has not been part of his repertoire. They got away with a lot of stuff when he was at Jackson State because they didn't have the athletes to be able to keep up with the track stars he had as his wide receivers. But this is a whole different set of circumstances.
Well, if the athlete has some holes, that's okay if their mental game is really good, and they'll make all the right kind of decisions. These franchises are going to invest huge money in these guys, especially the first rounders. They can't afford to pick a Ryan Leaf and have a disaster on their hands.
Well said. Okay, that takes us to